time of year can be really challenging for everybody. You can run into people who don't really go out very much, people who aren't used to being on the roads, people who aren't used to being in crowds, and everywhere is crowded and the roads are crowded and everybody is kind of desperately trying to do whatever they're desperately trying to do, and you're trying desperately to do what you're doing, and it can be very difficult to navigate that without losing your shit. So I have a very regular practice of exercise and yoga and meditation, and I'm really, I'm trying to get to a place where I don't lose my shit, at least not as much. But it's fucking hard. Like this morning, I'm trying to get everything done before I go to see my parents, and I had to stop at the DeKalb Farmers Market. And if you're from Atlanta and you know what that's about, and you know like what that looks like 2 days before Christmas, I've never seen the parking lot that full ever. I had to go all the way to the far end and park in the last spot farthest away from the building. That's how crowded it was in there. And I was like, ooh, it's okay. This is gonna take a long time. It's fine. So I went in with a mindfulness and an acceptance that it was going to be crowded, busy, challenging. And I went in there and it was balls to the wall. Some people were on their phones walking slowly. Some people were pushing and trying to get past other people. There was people who had never been to the farmers market before who looked like they were at Disneyland, and there were people who have been there every day of their life and could not get around those people fast enough. And I just needed to get some pastries, so I went to the pastry line. I was having a minor panic attack for a second because there was just people like up in my space and it was like they could tell that I was anxious that they were in my space, and they were almost reveling in it. And I took a breath. It's gonna be okay, even if they jump the line or whatever, who cares? It's Christmas, let them go. They got a kid. They didn't jump, but it was a little bit stressful, but I breathed my way through it, and I was super interactive and sweet with the lady who was taking my order. She was really nice. I was nice back to her. We had a good little connection. I go down, the lady checking me out, she's like fucking tired and wants to go home, and I was just like, I hope you have a good day, trying to add to the good vibes in that space. And then I had ordered a coffee, and it was really crowded around the little coffee area, and I wanted to get some creamer and a napkin and a lid and stuff, and so I'm trying to like kind of wiggle my way in there, and there's this guy standing next to me, and he had a mask on, so I couldn't see his face, but I just got a vibe off of him, and they were popping fresh popcorn, and I just looked at him and I went, oh man, that popcorn smell's gonna kill me. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, it smells so good. And he's like, I know, right? He's like, I get that stuff every other day. And I was like, yeah, I'm like, it smells good. I don't need popcorn at 10 o'clock in the morning. And we started joking back and forth, and I don't remember everything that we said, but he had popcorn in his cart too, and he said, I bring it home, and he's showing me his nutritional yeast. I put this stuff on it. It's so good the way I make it. I should package it, I just do it for myself. And I was like, hell yeah, man, like, way to be healthy. I'm like, I still put butter on that shit. And we're just kind of having a minute and moment, whatever, and then he looks me dead in the eye and he's like, Merry Christmas. And I was like, Merry Christmas. I said, I love you. And he said, I love you too. Fucking total stranger, right? Beautiful. 20 minutes later, I'm at QT, and I had everything was taking long, and I was trying to get air in my tire, and I had peace about the farmer's market. But 20 minutes after saying I love you to a total stranger at the farmer's market, I told somebody to get fucked at the QT. Like, it's it's difficult, but and I feel like shit because I did that, and it was like, she wasn't nice, she wasn't being a pleasant human either, but I shouldn't have told her to get fucked. And I'm learning, but so the point of this is that ever since I've been listening to John Vervaeke, who, if you don't know who he is, he's professor of cognitive science at the University of Toronto, and he teaches meditation and mindfulness and stuff like that too. And so I've been listening to one of his mindfulness lectures, and I'm driving, so I'm trying to do all of this safely. I'm even trying to record this safely. I'm taking as many precautions as I can and still take a video, and keep my hands on the wheel for the most part. But anyway, I've been watching this John Vervaeke video, and he tells you to sit up straight and rock back and forth and let your vestibular system, that balance system that you naturally have, show you where your center is, kind of fall into center, front to back, side to side, and then do it again with your head. Move yourself back and forth until you find, slowly you find your center from side to side, back and forth. There you go. Now I'm like sitting completely straight up. I can feel it in my spine. He says, like, put your shoulders down. Don't breathe with your shoulders. Breathe into your belly like a baby. Like, let your whole belly out. Feel what it feels like to be grounded. Feel what it feels like to be centered. And I'm not gonna lie, I felt like I had some really sharp, ugly feelings just crawling around inside me after that interaction at QT, and also guilt and shame and damn it, it's Christmas, why are we being like this, and just not feeling good after that interaction. And I was trying to just reach back and think about the guy at the farmer's market, and I had a sweet interaction with the lady across from me at the farmer's market too. Like, there was so much good at the farmer's market, and 20 minutes later it was like a fucking wrecking ball. Fucking QT, and this woman who I'm sure she's just trying to go where she's trying to go to. She definitely seemed to have some personality things going on, but obviously so do I. We all do. So reaching back and trying to hold on to the good that I was experiencing at the farmer's market, it was helping, but this centering stuff, this grounding, getting comfortable in my body. I'm driving for 3 hours up 85 to go see my parents in North Carolina today, and I don't, there's construction. It could end up going badly. I could end up being stuck in traffic or, whatever. But right now I feel so much better because I've taken the time to center myself physically and mentally, to ground, to breathe, just to kind of bring myself back to myself. And so that practice that I do all the time, and I'm not perfect at it. It's like anything else, there are entire weeks that I go and I'm like, shit, I didn't do yoga at all this week, or I missed 3 days of my workout, or I didn't run as much as I normally do, or whatever. I didn't meditate at all. But as a practice, I try to get it in as often as possible. I try to do it every day. And now, one of the things that I've noticed with my physical exercise practice is that as I continue that practice, I get stronger and stronger, and sometimes I'll kind of like hit like a noticeable checkpoint or a noticeable plateau. Sometimes it's a plateau, sometimes it's just I've gone over some edge. And a really easy one to elucidate is the fact that I can do a bunch of pull-ups. When I first started trying to do pull-ups, I couldn't do a single one, and so it's a noticeable difference, and it's good. It feels really good when I do. I can do about 3, sometimes 4 if I really try, and especially like those first 2, I'm just like, man, God, that feels good. I can really do this now, and it's a little bit harder to notice the mental gains, right? So I do my meditation and I do my yoga, and with the yoga, that's a mental and physical practice, right? So I do notice things like, wow, I can sit cross-legged and lean forward a lot farther than I ever could before, and that physically I can see the benefits of my yoga practice in that increased mobility, increased flexibility. But it's harder to gauge, am I more patient? Am I calmer? Am I less likely to snap or freak out or tell somebody to get fucked? Like, I did that today, but would it have been much worse 6 months ago before I was really deeply involved in a meditation practice? Would I have even had the good experience at the farmer's market before I had the freak out at QT? That's why it's, like I said, it's very hard to gauge. And it would be really easy for me to get very angry at myself for not resisting the temptation to snap like that. But I have to look at it like this. I do push-ups and pull-ups and sit-ups. I do that stuff almost every day. That's the one that I don't skip. And my body is physically stronger. So when I'm out in the world and I encounter something that I can't pick up, I just can't pick it up, does that mean that my workouts are useless, that they're worthless, and that I should just say fuck it, like that practice is clearly not working? There are still things in the world that I can't pick up. No, that's ridiculous. So I have to look at my spiritual practices and my mental practices the same way. When I am out in the world and I encounter a situation that is too hard for me to mentally pick up, right? I could not mentally lift or spiritually lift the situation with the woman at QT. Maybe I could have if I had tried a little bit harder. Probably not. Frankly, it's, the time of year and the stress level and everybody's trying to do their own thing. It's just, it's really hard. It's hard to navigate that. And I'm only like 6 months into my practice, and John Vervaeke was saying, you don't go into a dojo to learn martial arts and expect to be a black belt after 6 months. But you're getting better. And so I have to look at my behavior like, my yoga mat, my meditation block that I sit on, those are my dojo. And I don't have anyone following me around and saying, oh, you got another belt in not being an asshole. Like, you are a solid I don't know the belts. You're a solid yellow belt at not being an asshole. Like, there's just not as easy of a unit of measurement in stuff like that. So I have to just kind of think to myself, I encountered something today that I couldn't pick up. And all that means is that I'm not there yet. But if I keep sitting in meditation, if I keep getting on my yoga mat, if I keep working out, if I keep working my physical, mental, and spiritual body, mind, soul, I'll get there. You know, in the same way that I don't get mad because I can't do 20 pull-ups. I'm happy that I can do 3 instead of being mad that I can't do 20. So I am happy that I had an eye-to-eye conversation and told a complete stranger that I loved him. I'm happy for that, instead of being angry that somebody sent me off the handle at the fucking QT. We just have to be where we're at. We have to be okay with our progress and not let situations like that make us feel like we are not progressing. It's a matter of practice. It's a matter of dedication to just doing better tomorrow than you did today, better today than you did yesterday. And you're gonna fall backwards sometimes. You're gonna have just a setback or some sort of regression, and just sit down, just start it again. You know, if you lose the ability to do 3 pull-ups and you can only do 1, just do 1 every day until you can do 2, until you can do 3, and then until you can do 20, if that's what you're after. Mentally, if you have a freak out and you snap at somebody or you get in a fight with the person that you love, it doesn't mean that you're failing. It just means you gotta sit down and practice. Do whatever practice it is that helps you to get centered and gain clarity. And you'll get there eventually. And you're okay. We're all okay. It's Christmas. It's fucking nuts out there. Don't be hard on yourself, and don't be hard on other people if you can help it. See if there's a opportunity to tell somebody that you love them, even and especially if it's a stranger. If you're feeling like shit, do something nice for somebody else. You'll be surprised at how much that helps. Even just calling somebody that you know is alone for the holidays and just saying, hey, I'm just thinking about you, I love you, or sending a text or whatever, you know. You don't have to reply to this, just, hey, just letting you know that I'm thinking about you, I love you, I hope you're having an okay day, and I'm around if you want to talk, whatever. Reaching out, helping somebody else will get you out of your shit a lot faster than sitting around thinking about your shit. Anyway, the point is, you're okay, I'm okay, we're all okay. Christmas is stressful. Be nice to other people, and definitely be nice to yourself. I, for one, love you. Alright, I'm gonna stop videoing while I'm driving. Sorry if it's been really loud and annoying with the road in the background. I'm on 85 and they are digging this shit up. Alright, everybody have a happy, safe holiday, and I will see you in 2023.